I'm John Batchelor with Simon Constable, johnbatchelorShow.com, and we are former asset managers of the Bleak Fund.
And very bleak it was last year.
Very bleak it was, and they stopped taking our phone calls.
Oh, I can't think why.
So we're looking for new occupation because they didn't listen to us anywhere and they gave all the money we had to Bernie. So
Ooh.
the new occupation is, as bad as last year was, Simon, this year promises to be worse. We've been talking to our colleagues, and we're going to look for the first crash, and I think, well, you worked at General Motors.
Yes.
I mean to be impolite. I think the first crash is a car crash.
I think so. And General Motors will undoubtedly come back to the government for more money. I mean, the money, the billions of dollars of our money that the government gave to General Motors is gone. Forget it.
Yes.
It's over.
Right.
They will be back. Nothing's really changed at those companies.
Nobody's buying cars.
Nobody's buying cars. Maybe a little bit of extra credit will help, but really fundamentally the management hasn't seen the light. One of the car companies will go. It'll probably end up being a merger of GM and Chrysler, which I'm not that in favor of. I'd much rather see a breakup.
And General Motors going away will have an additional problem,
Yes.
because that's a lot of advertising goes away, and the next prediction that we as former asset managers now make, because we need a new occupation, the next prediction we have, a couple of Cassandras here, is that newspapers are going to go away. Now, Simon, you also work for a newspaper-like organization.
Yes.
Is it ready to disappear?
Well, it's not ready to disappear because it does rely on subscriptions a lot, and it's also a very, very, very strong brand name.
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street.
Yes.
I work with Dow Jones, and that's one of the publications. And one of the big problems, as you mentioned, the car ads. There are two sorts of car ads. One is a big display ad saying "Buy this car,
Right.
buy this Porsche,"
Which
buy
you
this,
don't need anyway.
Right, and then there are the local ads, which are the car dealerships saying "Buy this car at this price on this day." And
Buy
I'll give
this
you-"
SUV, I'll give you a car.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
and that's that sort of stuff. And both of those are going to be really hurt, and that's not going to be good. Newspapers need to reinvent themselves in some way, and the question is how.
In addition to newspapers disappearing, every store I've been in since, the last 3 months is going to go away. I go inside the store and I see them clearing the window display out. The customers have left. There's nobody behind the counter. Is that the same experience?
Yes, it is, and very interesting. Today I went into a store and they're so lightly staffed that if you actually want to buy anything,
Right.
it's now very hard to buy stuff because you can't get the assistant to help you.
And you try to give them money and they look at you like you're a fool. You know, what exactly are you doing? So retail's going to go away, and advertising is going to go away. But there's one thing we can do without clothes. We have lots in the closet, right? We can't do without food, and you worry me about food. Why is food going to crash?
Well, food, there's a big problem with food. Even last year when we had record high prices earlier in the year for grains, the most basic form of food there is, like
Bread.
wheat,
Bread. Bread.
and soybeans and corn. The stocks to use ratio, i.e. the amount of inventory of these things in the world, was at record lows relative to how much we need of it.
Right.
And the problem was, and is, that farmers are planting less
Because
this
commodity
year.
prices went down.
Because
The
commodity
costs
prices
went up.
and costs went up, and that means we're going to have an even worse problem next year. So we will see food prices spike later and then we'll see famine, and it will always affect the people who are least able to afford it. So I don't think many people here in the US will be in famine, but people in third world countries may well find
Turmoil,
themselves.
destabilization,
Be
rogue
awful.
states. Yes, all right. So Simon Constable and John Batchelor, former asset managers. You understand? They won't take our calls. However, we're predicting, as 2,000 years ago, the four horsemen of the apocalypse: pestilence, famine, war, and death. 2009. Good night.